Hello everyone and welcome back to A Bit Tactical. Today I'm going to be critiquing Glass Half Dead's Kasrkin performance in his most recent video because I think that would be a cool thing to do. He did do a few mistakes that I feel maybe some of you will be making, and I just think it'd be a good idea to help as much with the Kasrkin's 23% win rate, okay? Anyways, let's get started.
The Kasrkin, same deal. I took all of the specialists, and then for my gunner operatives, I took sharpshooter, melter, plasma, grenade launcher.
The only problem that I have with this setup right here is the marksman. The marksman seems like a good idea on vantage point. However, the fact that Kasrkin's restrictions don't really allow for things to be as good as they could be is really upsetting. For example, light him up in severe, that would go really well with the marksman if it weren't for the fact that you had to shoot a ready operative, which, especially since it's usually going to be after a concealed token, right? Or after a concealed token turns into an engaged token, that typically means after somebody has shot somebody. So the marksman isn't really built to go up on somebody's face. His best profile is the stationary profile. So taking him against an elite team, I don't think is the best option. The hot shot volley gun, I think, is a much better option. Just having that extra dice for those 5 attacks could really potentially bring out some, especially a crit, which gives you piercing 1. So I think it's a mistake. Also, it pairs really well with elimination pattern. All right, let's move on to the next turning point. If you want to watch the whole video, you should watch his first whole video. I'm just going over the parts where I can critique. So let's do that.
Melter at the back passes, ventriloquism pushes forward, my auspex just shuffles behind the leader. For a counteract, the fearmonger just moves up slightly so that it's going to be a cleaner move out for the next turn. Medic shuffles up.
Now, this is where the mistakes really start coming in, okay? So he did a really good job of keeping the Melter back where it was, right? The elite team is obviously pushing up. That's a good job on their part. But the Melter is going to be staying right in the back just so that when they do charge, which they are going to, right? Because they're a melee team, then that means that he's going to be able to just counter that charge, right? He kills a model, he then gets killed by the Melter gun. A pretty solid trade, especially for the Demo Trooper. However, since the Demo Trooper is already there, I would have brought the Auspex scan right here. And then obviously pop it off so that 8-inch bubble now includes these 2 operatives, right? Well, the reason I would do that is now he has to make a choice. Number 1, it should be far enough away that you can't double charge them. And it'll make it so that now your opponent has to make a choice. Do I kill the Demo Trooper or do I kill the Auspex scan? One makes it so that I ignore obscuring. One makes it so that he can plant a mine, potentially, like messing me up in some way, right? Either way, it's a choice that they have to make. Also, keep in mind, the Kasrkin winning initiative on turning point 2, especially in this instance, is actually kind of high, right? On ties, they win. Because he gave the initiative to the Nemesis Claw on this turning point. That means on next turning point, they get the advantage on that. And they also have a firefight ploy that makes it so that your opponent either has to reroll their die or you can reroll your initiative die. So turning point 2 initiative going towards the Kasrkin is actually a very high chance. So because of that, I think that there is a world in which if he brought the Auspex scan, he could automatically activate his marksman, get severe on a elite model. He didn't mention his equipment, so I don't know if he brought long scope, but if he did bring in long scope, then they would get saturated, so they wouldn't get a cover save. If he then uses elimination pattern, he gets piercing 1 on that. Again, with severe, that stacks. So severe, piercing 1, or piercing crits 1, you get saturate. That means that they only roll 2 defense die. You have devastating 4 with your weapon. You can use neutralize target because it's a ready operative. Like, there's so much that could have happened here if he had just brought in that Auspex scan up, and obviously he missed that opportunity.
No more counteract. Final action, my recon trooper moves onto the point and then gives +1 APL to the Melter on the other side of the board.
He did a really good job saving the Consman to the end and giving it to a model that's going to activate next turning point. However, I do disagree with the move onto the point. He has other models that are there that can do that. So I personally don't like that option that he took. What he should have done is given that second APL either to his plasma gun or to really anybody else. Yeah, I think this was like his grenade launcher, his melt-a-gun. I think that would have been the nice option in this case, but obviously he didn't. Moving the Consman out of spawn, especially when he just gives out that extra APL. That extra APL can just be such a good thing for the Kasrkin. Giving it up even for potentially getting a point later on, I don't know if it's something I would do.
Nemesis Claw win the initiative and decide to take it to go up to 5 command points.
He didn't mention it, so I'm assuming he didn't do it, but he didn't seize the initiative on turning point 1, which is a mistake considering how important turning point 2 is. He even mentions how important turning point 2 is.
I also go up to 5 command points. They roll 3 for their prescience points. The Nemesis Claw play We Have Come For You, which means D3 damage when they charge me. And I play Clearance Sweep on this side for a 1 CP, and I place the marker so that I have a 5-inch range, getting all 3 of these models, and it extends just beyond this wall, so all shooting here, I will get balanced. The Terror Chem manages to charge, fight and kill the grenade launcher, get within 2 of the trooper, shoot, but kind of fluffs the pistol shot, only getting 3 damage through.
We didn't see the rolls, but if he had used Seize the Initiative, there's a good chance he could have, seized the initiative. And then he wouldn't have lost the grenade launcher. But even if that didn't happen and he still didn't win initiative, bringing the Auspex scan up, I probably, considering that his opponent went for the grenade launcher, would have been even better. That means the demo trooper still would have been able to go. The Auspex scan would still be alive, and then his marksman could get a good shot on this guy at the lower end on the right side. Again, just not using the only good ploys that the Kasrkin has is just a big mistake.
Be damaged when they charge me. And I play Clearance Sweep on this side for a 1 CP, and I place the marker so that I have a 5-inch range, getting all 3 of these models, and it extends just beyond this wall, so all shooting here, I will get balanced.
That right there is good placement of the Clearance Sweep token. You're going to have some shooting attacks through here, so not a bad placement at all.
The Terror Chem manages to charge, fight and kill the grenade launcher, get within 2 of the trooper, shoot, but kind of fluffs the pistol shot, only getting 3 damage through on the regular trooper. The demo trooper moves up, gets a free dash to this corner and drops his melter mine right there, so that if either of these 2 models come over, they will immediately touch the mine.
First of all, good placement on the demo trooper mine, making it really annoying for them to just charge in or move to that flank. Really good. But with the grenade launcher, it's a shame that he lost him because he does have the crack grenade. That's why I typically like to just use my regular trooper, my recon trooper, even the demo trooper, and the Auspex scan, which is the recon trooper. He called it Auspex scan. But I like to use them as screening operatives so that if a charge comes, it'll have to either go through them or it'll make it so that they'll have to go through their control range, which would be impossible for them to do so. That's typically how I like it to be done. But obviously he just had his grenade launcher up there by himself. Like, preferably, I would have liked the grenade launcher and the regular trooper to have been switched in their positions that they were at.
My sergeant at that point uses Tactical Command to give himself another skill at arms, and he gives himself the minus damage, which is ice in your veins. So normal damage of 4 more becomes -1. He flips to engage, shoots, charges. He goes hot, shoots, kind of fluffs the roll, so has to use the ploy that allows you to reroll everything, neutralize target, to reroll 3 of his dice. Only gets 1 crit through, which was a lethal 5, so good thing I went hot. The hot didn't do any damage. I then charge, fight, managed to get the kill. However, I take 5 damage because I got hit by a crit, and that does mean I'm poisoned. So I have 5 health left, and I will be taking D3.
So right here, this is actually a really good, really smart play. Changing from light him up to the damage reduction, ice in your veins, is so smart to do because severe no longer applies to the target you're going to be shooting, and he's going to go into combat with him. I don't know what the normal. I'm assuming he knows that the normal damage for the Nemesis Claw operative is going to be 4 or more. However, as you saw, he did shoot him. He rolled hot. He then charged him, but he took a crit damage. And this is again the weakness of the Kasrkin, which is the caveats, the caveats, the caveats, the caveats. You can only ever get this thing if the sun is in the right position in the sky at that time when you're playing the game. And if it isn't, then you don't get it. I don't know why it's on normal damage. It should just be if you ever take more than 4 damage, you can just reduce it by 1. I don't know why it's so much boring stuff, but this is a really good play on his point.
Damage. Skin Thief taps the point for loot, charges, fights, kills the demo trooper. Auspex moves up and then does their anti-obscurity thing, so anybody within 8 inches will no longer be obscured, which...
Just again, not really using the Kasrkin to the full extent of his abilities. Turning point 2 is a big turning point. Elimination pattern is something that you should probably always be running, especially against a team that you know is melee focused. They're probably going to be out of position. They're probably not going to be in cover. So piercing 1 or piercing crits 1 even is a really good thing to have, right? If you get a crit. If you did have elimination pattern here, which again, turning point 2, you should probably have it on. When he brings up his recon trooper here, it's probably better for him to just shoot this guy right here, right? This is right here, this little bubble that he has is one of the few places where obscurement isn't going to be that big of a deal on this map, on a Volcus terrain map especially. Like everyone that could possibly be here is already out in the open, so this move is just kind of a waste.
Vox Trooper activates and gives both the Plasma Gunner and the regular Trooper +1 APL. Regular Trooper uses his extra APL to fall back inside just onto the point and tap the point.
The third APL to the Plasma Gunner and to the regular Trooper is actually a god tier move. Obviously, your Plasma Gunner needs no explanation, but your regular Trooper, this is something that, if you guys have been watching my guide, I always talk about. The regular Trooper having a third APL is really good because he's got that stun grenade and he's got the smoke grenade. However, he didn't use that at all. I understand he was going in and he was going to get to the point, but you have a Plasma Gunner that's on vantage on top of the point with a third APL. Why not take a shot at one of the 2 exposed operatives right here and then drop down and cap the point if you want to? I truly don't know, especially since you're on vantage. Again, there are 2 exposed operatives. You get accurate 1. I'm not entirely sure what the decision-making process was there, especially with the average trooper. What you could have done is you could have thrown a smoke grenade right on your 2 operatives that are in danger. Your sergeant...
This is your future.
It's my destiny.
...is definitely in danger. He's engaged. Your Auspex trooper is not engaged, but still, you maybe a crack grenade gets thrown at you. I'm not sure if the Nemesis Claw has a blast or torrent or anything. Whatever the case may be, having a smoke grenade on 2 operatives is never a bad thing. You already have that third APL. You already have another operative that can tap the point. Why not do that? In fact, why not do that and then do a little bit more damage on, again, one of the 2 exposed operatives here and then dash away? Right? Like, against a kill team, if you can focus, or against an elite team, if you can focus fire and get rid of 1 or 2 models, that gives you a huge advantage against them. So, really bad decision. That smoke grenade should absolutely have been thrown. Even if it was just you take the shot and then you throw it on yourself, it should have done that. Unfortunate that he did not.
Ventriloquist moves up, stays concealed. Sharpshooter uses up his concealed position to take a shot at the Ventriloquist, takes 3 damage. Visionary dashes, moves, falls back. Melter moves up to the traditional turn 1 staging point and instead uses it to shoot the Fearmonger. Manages to get the kill, didn't even need his +1 APL. Plasma moves up, gets a shot on the Sergeant, rolls terribly but still enough to kill the Sergeant.
That is destiny fulfilled.
Oof, big yikes. Yeah, like I said, if he had thrown the smoke grenade there at, one of his, I think that is his only exposed operative at this point, it would have been really good. Obscurement does so much. It ignores piercing. It takes away a successful hit, not just a roll attack dice, a successful one. He's in cover, so he automatically also has one cover save. He's rolling his 2 other saves. There's a strong possibility this Kasrkin Sergeant doesn't take any damage. So if he had the smoke grenade, which would stack Obscurement with a cover save, but he didn't.
Because why not? Medic moves up to be within 3 of the Melter. As a counteract, the Plasma actually does take a shot on the only other available model that could be counteracted shot. The Melter, on the other side of the board, it was an obscured shot and as such did no damage, but actually it was very close and almost did damage. Plasma Gunner moves, dashes, using up his +1 APLs, swap into an engage of course, and only gets 1 crit through for 5 damage, but doesn't take any damage himself for hot.
So clearly lots of mistakes made there on the part of the Kasrkin. I think the other player also made a few mistakes, but I'm not really here to criticize him because I didn't do a guide on his team. But yeah, and again, go watch the full video. I don't want to just kind of rip like the whole thing. It kind of feels really weird to just rip the whole thing, which is why I'm like cutting it up just to show the important parts. But that's the end of that turning point, so let's move on to the next one.
Kasrkin win initiative and decide to take it, and their first ploy is a clearance sweep right here. Obviously, the Plasma goes first. He goes hot, he gets the kill, he takes no damage from his own hot, which was beautiful. Thanks to the clearance sweep, he absolutely wrecked it, but didn't even need his balance. He used light him up so he had severe. He ended up with 2 crits, 2 hits. Great stuff. He then also threw a stun grenade, which -1 APL'd the enemy Plasma.
This is a really good opening play by him, getting that kill with the Plasma Gunner. Great. However, I do think he used severe wrong. He said he rolled 2 crits and 2 hits, and he didn't have to use balanced, which I'm assuming means he didn't have to re-roll. And if you have severe and you didn't get any re-rolls, you should only have 1 crit at the end of your attack dice phase. Severe only applies if you haven't rolled any crits. It's not if you roll another crit, you can turn a success into a crit. It has to be no crits. One of your normal successes becomes a crit. So so you guys know. And then also throwing it at a stun grenade at this other Legionnaire or whatever he is really, really good. Lowering down to a second model is always going to be, or a 2 APL model is always going to be a super good thing to do against elite teams.
Fox Operator gives +1 APL to both the Melter and the Auspex.
Personally, I think that this was a big mistake on his part. Even I understand giving the Vox Trooper extra APL to other people is good. However, right now, you're in a situation where you have an elite team that has 3 models left and you have a significant amount of killing power still. So, with that being said, he probably should have activated his Melta, moved over to get this operative over here all the way on the right, or if he had the movement to get this operative here down the middle, whichever one it would be. I mean, it's a Melta, right? AP2. He's losing a model. Now again, with severe, you automatically get devastating wounds. I think it's devastating 4. So 4, everything else, you haven't used neutralized target yet. And, I mean, you actually can't use neutralized target on a model that's not expended. But again, you get severe. So you basically get a guarantee that you're going to get devastating 4. You should have gone for a kill here.
Plasma Gunner moves onto my side of the board, takes a shot, kills the Plasma. Auspex Trooper moves just onto the point, taking its Terrachem for a whole 5 damage, putting him down to 3 health remaining. He's obviously gone loud, and he takes a shot at the plasma guy but deals no damage, which means this plasma guy is a real problem for my VP scoring. Creature charges so that he's wholly on my half of the board, fights, obviously getting the kill. Melter again uses his +1, does what a Melter does, gets onto the point, killing the Screecher, easy.
And again, I really do think he could have killed 2 elite models right here. If he had put the Melta over to the right side of the screen, killed that guy, don't mind my daughter cooing in the background, and then with his marksman killed the guy in the center, I think that would have been a much better play than what happened here. The other guy would have been down to 1 elite model versus many, the Vox Trooper, the the Vox Trooper, the Comms Trooper, the Medic, potentially the Melta, and the Marksman. That's 5 models? Maybe I'm counting. 4 models. Put elimination pattern. You have P1. You rush everybody to go against that guy, and then turning point 4, you have the TAC ops. I think he could have tabled him here, basically. Now, the rest of the game basically runs itself, or plays itself here. And again, go watch his video. He did a really good video. I actually really like this format, even though it's basically me, guys. It's just a little bit better than what I do. Yeah, it's a battle report. Okay, he's actually just reporting the battle. That's really good. But I really like the video. Go watch the video if you want to see all of it. I just wanted to critique some few things here. But yeah, he basically he runs over with the comms medic or the medic. I don't know why he did that. And it ended up being a draw. But as you can see here, I think here you can see the Kasrkin do actually have some plays. It's just about your knowledge about the team. If you have a good knowledge of the team and what they do, what they can't do, I think you can actually pull this out. I think this would have been a game in which he tabled him turn 3. Even with all the stuff he did in turning point 1 and 2, I think he would have tabled him turn 3 if he had just chosen his targets a little bit better, and definitely had won by turning point 4. But, it is what it is. As he said himself, this isn't usually a team he plays. It's a shooting team, which he doesn't really do. It's the Kasrkin, which I would be surprised if he had more than a handful of games with them, and especially in the new edition, if he even had 1 game in them. But yeah, that's it for this video. Don't mind my daughter in the background. I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell me if you like me critiquing these guys. I'm actually going to do another critique because Mountainside Tabletop came out with the Phobos Strike Team thing. So watch out for that video. All right, I'll see you guys next time.